Hi people, I hope you're doing well today. My name is Irene and this is Hairy Lifestyle. Today I'm bringing to you a video that has been requested by so many people. Let's make some hair and body butter. As I always say, here at Hairy Lifestyle, we are all about a healthy, wholesome lifestyle that is simple and affordable. So today I'm going to show you how I make my body butter. Everyone keeps asking me how to make body butter. Body butter is something that I have made for very many years. It is what I have used for all my children. From when they were newborns, from when they are born all the way till now. I use it on their skin, I use it on their hair, I use it on my hair, I use it as my body butter, and yeah, it has always worked very well for me. When you make your own body butter, the thing is you are in charge of the ingredients that you use. You know exactly what is going into your body butter, and it's actually cheaper to make it for yourself than to go and buy it. Now, because I make it for myself, I'm able to indulge. I'm able to use different kinds of butters and just experiment and find what I like the most. So on to our ingredients. I'm going to use a couple of butters here. This is shea butter. This is cocoa butter. My shea butter is the Ugandan shea butter. I have a couple of carrier oils that I'm going to use. I have olive oil. This is food grade olive oil. I have sesame oil. I have some glycerin. Glycerin is very good if you have dry skin. I have some black seed oil. Those are my carrier oils, and here I have what I will use as my scenting oil. This is a sweet orange. And the last oils I have are essential oils. Essential oils are very good. First of all, they are very potent. You only use them in very few drops. They're very good for taking care of your skin and all that, but remember, use very few drops. I have lemon, and I have a mixed essential oil over here. I also have vitamin E oil. Vitamin E oil is very good for your skin, and it's also going to be a preservative for our butter so that our butter does not go rancid as we are using it. Now, the last thing I want to say is for your essential oils and for your vitamin E oil, those ones you will add quite at the end once your butter has already cooled down. You don't want to add this to your warm butter because you don't want to denature them. I will also add my scenting oil later on because I also don't want to lose the scent. Over here, I've already melted mango butter and some avocado butter. I just had a little bit left of those two, and I wanted to finish them in this batch, so these ones are already melted. As you can see, my butters are already in a melted state. Now, melting your butters is very important. Ensure that you melt your butters all the way through. That will ensure that when you whip them, you don't get granules, you don't get small particles in your butter. But when you're melting your butters, remember guys, don't put it in the microwave and don't put your butters directly on the fire. What I use is what we call a double boiler method. I usually take hot water, put it in a jug like this. Once my jug is full of hot water, I'll just go ahead and put one of my butters inside there, and that is how you want to melt your butters. You never want to melt your butters over an open fire or in the microwave, because you're going to denature them and you'll lose all the good properties that are in your butter. So on to our next step. I'm going to just put all my butters in my container where I've already put my first two butters. This is cocoa butter. Now, remember, cocoa butter is a very solid butter, so you don't want to use too much of it. It gives you a very good scent, but it's a very rock solid butter. Use just a little bit of it. I usually use a ratio of 1:3 or 1:2 with my other butters. Ugandan shea butter is very soft, what I'm putting in right now, so it will easily be able to counter the hardness of the cocoa butter. So those are my butters. As you can see, everything is completely melted. To this, I'm going to add my carrier oils. I'm just going to add a little bit, and then later on, depending on the texture of my butter, I can always add a bit more. You use carrier oils depending on the texture you want. If you want a light and fluffy butter, then you'll use a little less of the carrier oils. But if you want a very solid butter, then you'll want to use more of the carrier oils. Also remember, the temperature around where you stay has a lot to do with the texture of your butter. If you live in a warm area, like if you're in Mombasa, you will notice your butter will remain very soft. But if you live, let's say in a colder area, you'll find that your butter solidifies a bit more. So now I'm adding my olive oil. And finally, a little bit of glycerin. And I'm done with all my oils. Here we are. This is what we have. Once we whip that, it will probably be about twice the amount you can see here because of the air that we'll introduce into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this butter, I'm going to put it in my freezer and allow it to solidify about 80% of the way. As long as the top is completely solid, even if the bottom is not completely solid, that's what you want it to be like. Put it in the freezer, let it freeze back so that we can be able to whip it. Now remember, you want to actually put it in the freezer. Don't let it cool down on your countertop or even in the fridge, because when you put it in the freezer, that's when you ensure it solidifies uniformly so that you don't get any particles in your butter. The method really helps for you to get the final results that you want. So off to the freezer this goes. We'll be back to whip this up. Our butter has now solidified. I've just brought it out from the freezer. I hope you can see that it's completely solid and it's all the way smooth. This is very important so that you get the right consistency when you whip it up. Here I have a mixer. I'm only going to use one of the mixing ones. I don't need to use both of them because this is just a small amount of butter. This is an old mixer that I use to mix my butters. You can see how it's changing. It's beginning to take on the consistency of whipped butter. So it pretty much looks like whipping cream. I'm going to keep whipping it because I want it to be fluffy. As I continue whipping it, I'm going to add oils, my carrier oils where I find it necessary. As you can see, we still have some chunks, so we still need to continue whipping it until we have the smooth consistency that we're looking for. And there we have it. That's our beautiful whipped body and hair butter. I'm going to transfer it into these containers because it's easier to store it that way. It smells good. You can see the consistency. It's pretty solid. If you want it lighter, you can add a few oils. But then that is good for you. Very moisturizing. Very good for your hair, very good for your skin. There it is. And that is how I make my body butter. When I was whipping it, I added my vitamin E oil and I also added my scenting oil. This time I used the sweet orange flavor. It smells nice. It has a good consistency. I'm going to use this and I'm going to enjoy it. So for all those people who've been asking me for the secret recipe on how to make your body butter, I've given out all my secrets today. It was very nice hanging out with you today. That is my body butter. If you need to contact me, my contact details are provided below. If you have any comments, any suggestions, any ideas, you can leave them in the comment section. We can talk there. If you haven't subscribed, kindly consider subscribing. I would love to have you in my YouTube family. That was nice. I enjoyed it. I'll see you in my next video.